And welcome back, guys. This is Ray's Moto Life, and I am over here on the Political Writers channel, and we are talking and discussing Donald Trump's victory today, which is our victory, meaning the certification of the vice president having to certify Donald Trump's win. We watched it live. We ran it. We aired it live from my channel, Ray's Moto Life. If you're not familiar with it, please go over and subscribe and like, comment. Also, on the bottom of us is Salty Badger. As you can read the names, please go check out his channel. He does motorcycles, builds choppers. He is a veteran. We do thank him for his service, guys. He did go into a rabbit hole last night with the New Orleans and the Cybertruck bomber and things like that. So it's very good content. He does a every evening at 5 o'clock spotlight on small channels, which we completely love because that is what we're doing. And he also wants to see the community grow. So he's doing, he's wanting to put his, his service in and help the smaller channels grow. So, and at the top we have the Political Writer. So what we did today was we've been watching this as we're all snowed in pretty much. I believe, Salty, you've got quite a bit of snow. John's got, Political Writer's got quite a bit of snow. I've got ice in East Tennessee and it keeps on. So I've seen a few things that has popped up. Of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's come straight out of the Capitol with her MAGA hat on. We had a victory today. I don't know if you can pull anything up and share it with the vertical stream, but also I think it's good. The conservatives is completely, enjoying this day. So we are also enjoying it. So what's your thoughts on the quick of how long this is going to last? Because I think that as we all know the hype, the feeling, the good feeling, we get that energy going. Do you think the American people will have this energy and the Republicans will have this energy going into the inauguration? Or do you think they're going to try to push something else out there that's going to slow us down?
I think there's going to be some, I think there's going to be some uprising. I think there's going to be some mad Democrats out there because the Democrats made it look like the Republicans were the bad people, stealing their limelight. If you remember last time, it was a couple hours after the certification that things went haywire over in Washington, D.C. They've been throwing all our distractions up. They've got them all across the United States. On top of it, we got Canada siding with it now. The day of what's happening on the day that we certify who our next president, the Prime Minister of Canada steps down. What is going on here? What are they trying to distract us against? There is a distraction coming up here. What we need to figure out is which direction they're trying to get us to look. It's America free, but now all these people that were getting all the free stuff from America, it's going to go away. And what's going to happen when that goes away? Are these people going to be upset? I mean, we earn our stuff and we respect it. Now they're going to be people stepping up and jumping in, seeing what's going to happen. It's going to get nasty. You better buckle in and strap down because not just this live's going to get crazy, but you better watch what's going on in this country over the next week or so. You already have high-level podcasters going into hiding, according to other podcasters and things, over things that they put out on social media. We're just little guys. We're going to put it out there too. But hey, do we need to have bug out bag and go hide? No, I think we just need to strap in, hold down, not make any big financial decisions over the next maybe a couple of years while we rebuild. But let's check it out and see what other people have to say. That is John from Political Rider at the top of the screen. He's got a newer, smaller channel. If you can get on there, like, subscribe, unsubscribe to us if you don't like us. We don't want you to follow us if you don't like it. We want the people that are into the kind of thing.
Yes.
We don't want the bots. We don't want the trolls. We want people that like America. We want people that want America better. Do I think that President Trump is the best? No, I don't think President Trump's the best. What I think is we picked the lesser of the two evils. That being said, doesn't mean he's the best man for the job or that she wasn't the best woman for the job. I have nothing against women standing up and doing a job. What I have a problem is that our vice president did her job for today. The only time that she's done it is today. She did her job as vice president by certifying it. Before the election, nobody even knew who our vice president was. She didn't do her job. She wasn't out there shaking hands, holding babies. No, not until it was time to become president and do a job. Why? Well, let's figure out what happens up till now, until the 20th. Let's talk about it and see what happens.
Yeah, because like when she certified that today, and like I said, I'm Ray's Moto Life. You can check out my channel if you like, but we're here for the Political Rider. She did her job today. I think it took maybe an hour, 2 hours to, confirm that, certify his win. And that's the only thing she's done in the last 4 years. I mean, everything else she's been out, just people say campaigning and doing her work. No, the lady he has put her in 2 or 3 positions to be over anything. And what does she do? She's sitting in a room talking to kids about space. She's, talking about school buses, yellow school buses. She's talking, just off the wall. Yeah. She's standing in crazy crap. South Korea saying, "Oh, I love this place," and looking in North Korea. I mean, she's unfit. She is completely worthless, in my opinion. And like I said, yes, I do like Trump. Do I love the man? Do I sleep with a pillow of Trump every night? No. But I do think he is best for this country at this time. And I believe there was a reason for Biden to become president, for them to cheat. I believe it in my heart that there was a reason this happened, because it exposed every one of those Democrats and woke people. Now, I'm not saying all Democrats are evil and devil and all that. There's a lot of hardworking people out here in America that just struggle like we do. They pay the same prices we do. Maybe they thought that their prices at the store of the gas would be cheaper than ours. I don't know.
Right.
But here's the thing. I don't hold that against people trying to make a living. The thing is, when the party jumped to so much woke and nut stuff, I think that allowed the American people to stand up and say, hang on, we're not with that. We're not dealing with that. We're not about that. And we're going to put someone that we know for sure can stop that stuff. And that's why America stood up and voted for Trump. Even ones that didn't like him or was Democrat, they silently voted for Trump. I know a few of them because they were tired of the way the country was going. And you're right, Salty. All the free gifts and the free money that we keep sending, these 5-gallon buckets full of cash to these other countries, that stuff stops, now. It's going to stop. And all these countries are going to be like, hey, wait a minute. Their wallets are going to be getting light. So I truly believe there's a lot of people, like you said, there's going to be a lot of uprisings in other places as well, not just America, but you will see, in my opinion, just like 2020, the first people that stood up and broke the law, in my opinion, it was the writers, the Democrats. They burned down cities. They injured police. They killed police. They did a lot of bad things, but
we got our first person with a comment there, though.
They don't want to highlight any of that.
Yeah, I'd let it all up out there, because that like that.
What is he saying?
Is Trump going to follow through with his threats? Why are they threats? I mean, for him to follow through, it's not all going to happen right away. They're not necessarily threats. These are things that are better for the country.
And for promises.
Is he a giant pussy? Well, he might be. Sorry, John, I know it's your channel, but if he's a giant pussy, what was Biden? If you're going to sit there and say this guy is not the best president, I'm okay with that, and I'm okay with your argument. But no, you said about talking about bashing vets because he was elected. No, I would give you the chance to bash on vets. I'll give you 5 minutes of my time right now. Let's see what you got to throw at vets. Because if you want to attack vets because Donald Trump is president, that's fine. But that has nothing to do with it. And Biden did nothing good for America. Otherwise, give America away to China, give it away to everybody else. It's been going on for years. Like we all said in the beginning, we don't think Trump's the best man for the job. But he was the lesser of the two evils. Everybody voted for him. He's there. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah.
And see how things coming up. Our government's been pulling the wool over our eyes for years. So everybody else is good.
I mean, there has to be a reason the country went red, Now, will they vote down valid Democrats? Sure, they still do, because we see that they're still in there. A lot of them are still in there. We didn't win, the House by like 25? No, we won by 3, 4? I mean, there's things, yes, we're above them a little bit, but I don't think Trump makes threats. He stands on his ground. He makes promises. And the last time he was president, I seen certain things. No, what I'm saying is, yes, the way it comes out, it sounds like a threat. And if this guy's talking about other countries, yes, he's saying, hey, knock it off. When he says a threat, when you say a threat, he says a threat, you have to define that, because when he says, hey, we're not going to take this anymore, I promise you, or you're going to pay, this percent, 200% in tariff, or I'm going to make you do this. Is that a threat? Sure. But what's fair, in my opinion, is fair. If they're going to charge us so much, we should be able to charge them the same. And I think he's just got to the point where he has stood up and said, enough's enough of America being took advantage of. They keep taking advantage of us. The Biden administration, like you said, in my opinion, also has sold us out to so much other stuff. We are hurting. This country's hurting. And I truly believe that Trump is not Christ. He's not the savior, but he is the man for the job at the moment.
You're only going to pay the tariffs if you continue to buy stuff outside the United States that comes in. If you're buying stuff that's supplied through the United States, you're not going to pay those tariffs. So yes, you will pay those tariffs if you want to wear the blindfold, believe that all that stuff is the worst for America. Tariffs are a good thing as far as importing that to keep the jobs here. But if you want to pay for that extra stuff, you will be paying those tariffs if you want to buy this stuff. You know how hard it is to buy American now? Working on cars, doing anything, working on motorcycles, to buy something from America, it's tough. You have to do more work to buy American than you do have to be from overseas. So the tariffs will help out in that situation. Like I've said a million times, the oil situation is going to be a whole nother story that's going to be a lot of trouble.
It's getting through the red tape. It's getting through the paperwork, like they were talking about. They're going to try to stop him from doing anything, just like what Biden just did. He just signed that executive order saying he couldn't drill on offshore, any of that stuff. I mean, he's trying to make it he's selfish. He's selfish. He's trying to make it as difficult as he can for
keep buying from Amazon
for Trump to, exactly. I mean, that's what it is. You're filling other people's pockets up, man.
Yeah. Keep buying from Amazon.
Yeah.
Keep buying from Amazon, knockout. You'll be fine. You'll get all those American goods right from Amazon.
Exactly. You'll get all the cheap plastics.
Hey, nobody's on here saying that President
Trump
is the next thing that God. And,
we
all understand that he's not perfect. He's not the perfect president. He's not the perfect president for most of us.
But he's not as bad as Biden.
We don't. No, but he's not as bad as Biden. He's better than Biden, and I agree with you, Salty. He's the lesser of two evils because he is a businessman. He does see things from a businessman's perspective. There's some things he said just recently about hiring tech people from other countries and bringing them here and placing American jobs. They've been doing that for a long time. I understand that, but he's for that. I'm not for that. I'm not for replacing going to other countries, bringing people over here and placing American jobs. I'm not for that. And I see a lot of problems coming with Trump in that aspect because I think he's hurt the party by saying that. Elon's done the same thing. So is Vivek. I mean, they're all saying the same thing because what are they? They're billionaires. They're businessmen. They look at everything through the eyes of business. And there's going to be a lot of problems for Trump coming up because I think a lot of people does not agree with his style of leadership. His style of leadership is not based on like Biden's, which was no style at all. He didn't have no leadership style, period. But his style of leadership is by looking at the country as a business. So that's the way he's going to do it. But he's going to have a lot of problems coming up with not just the Democrats, but his own party. I see a lot of conflict and I see a lot of tough road ahead. And that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, here's my opinion. I've seen both men lead the country for 4 years at a time. Trump led for 4 years. I've seen Biden. I chose Trump because I seen what Biden did. I can assess both of them now that I know, you know what I mean? I'm a conservative anyways, but also I've seen this country run by Trump and I've seen it run by Biden's administration, not Biden because he don't know, he shuffles and eats ice cream.
Yeah, he didn't run anything. He didn't run anything.
But his people, his people that ran it, in my opinion, if you're going to put those kind of people in office, man, that's going to run this country in the ground and do what they did. I don't want no part of it. I prefer Trump. I prefer him being back in office. I prefer him having 4 years and then moving on to a younger generation like J.D. Vance or, right. And younger, it means J.D. Vance just turned 40. He's not 60. They keep saying Kamala's 20 years younger than Trump. Well, yeah, but she's not 40. She's 60. We don't need an old person in office running our country, just like these senators and these people like that up there. Get out of there. Why are you 80 years old still up there? You've made your living. Go spend time with your grandkids, your family, just like Nancy Pelosi. She did a like a selfie video the other day on her way home from, in the airplane. And her eyes was barely open. I swear she was 3 sheets to the wind. I'm so glad California has put me in position again and for me to take, this and that. I'm like, lady, you're on pain pills and you're on alcohol. You just came from hip surgery from a different country. You're on an airplane, toasted. Don't be on the phone because you look worse than, because I don't like her anyways, but she, but yeah, hey, you want to run Kamala in 4 years, run her, because their agenda still has not ever changed. If you see from the mainstream media or the woke media or the legacy media, whatever you want to call it, they still do not admit that they are the problem and what they pushed and what they did. So in my opinion, they still want to, run that woke stuff. They're not going to get anywhere. They're not going to have a leader. They don't have a leader. So
they're not going to have a female again. I don't think in 4 years, nothing against females, but I don't think another 4 years the Democrat Party is going to throw. They've sailed that ship, that sail, it sunk. So I don't think they're going to jump right in. They need something that's going to be a fighter. They're going to roll out with a big heavy hitter that's going to come in and take it over. But I honestly don't think it's going to happen. Because I think it's going to be Republican for a little while. They muddied the waters pretty good with Biden. They messed a lot of stuff up, and it's going to take a long time for us to recover from this as America. And America is going to step up. That baldy is going to fly down, and we're going to take care of some stuff and get rid of all the bird shit that Siegel has dropped over this past 4 years.
Yeah, I don't see a female running again I don't see it on either side. I mean. They tried it. It didn't work. It was basically she was a DEI hire. She was basically
a test run.
Yeah, a test run. And I think
sorry, didn't mean to
go ahead.
Step on you. But here's the big thing about the female running. Our main people that are against us, Afghanistan, China, all these people that are Russia, all these people, they look down on women. What kind of person would think if you're going to go against your enemy? Let's throw out let's throw a woman out there to go against them. That would be like the NFL team that's getting ready to go into the playoffs saying, hey, let's throw the cheerleaders in to play this game to see if we can go on farther.
Yeah, it's true because they think that,
exactly.
Yeah. And I think And now, how many of them have come out and said, "Oh, we should have done a primary. We're going to host a primary. We needed And now some of the media is even saying, "Well, if you guys would have done a primary, no excuses. You pushed their agenda. You pushed what they wanted. You pushed her out there. You guys was completely for that. So don't start." Yeah. And someone said the other day, he was saying how the CNN, MSNBC, all them was starting to ask questions about, his Biden's mental and all these other questions. And they're like, I don't even give them credit for doing that because of the way they did for the whole 4 years. They completely hit him. They completely pushed their agenda, out there, and they completely just tried to push her out on us. And I don't think that they'll ever do that again. I think they'll have a primary before they ever step to try to do that. Like someone, and I also heard that if
they better,
like Bill Clinton said, if there ever is a woman president, it will be on the Republican side.
If Bill Clinton said it,
the comments, but Bill Clinton said it. He said a woman would be. It would be more likely for the Republicans to have a woman president than the Democrats, because we know, and just like you were saying, a lot of those countries don't even let them women or girls go to school, get educated, drive cars. They don't let them do.
They have no respect for them.
Yeah,
they have no respect for
they're not even allowed to go outside unless they're next to their husband and walking down the street. Yes, they're not allowed to do any of that stuff.
You think other countries are going to respect the American president that's a female? It's not going to happen. They're not going to show her any respect.
Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe they would have respected Camilla as a president. Maybe we're wrong because you know why? She never shows her face. She would have been a great president in their eyes because she's a female that never shows her face.
They know they could have bent her over and got anything they wanted out of her because she just would have went with the program. And just like Biden, they would have just catered and gave money away. I mean, what did she say she wanted to do? She wanted to give how much money to each or to people for their first time buyer homes. And I mean, where does that money come from? Where's it going to come out of? Just like that reporter said, where are you getting this money? And then what's his name from 60 Minutes, the black fella, he said, okay, but realistically, let's talk realistic.
That's not America. That's not America free though.
Yeah, but how are you going to do this? Realistically, you cannot do this. You can't get anything.
Well, she didn't have an answer for any question. Yeah. She didn't have an answer for any question. When they asked her about how she was going to accomplish this or accomplish that, she just went off into some twilight.
Well, I'm from a middle-class family, and I watched the dude mow the lawn next door, and my mama
the sky's going to be blue, and we're going to come together, and everything's going to be just, just crazy crap.
Yeah.
She never did.
That was her number one excuse. Yeah. It was
come to America. We're all cheap and it's all free.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they did. And I mean, look at the cities. I mean, they have, and now, anybody should, if you're a Democrat, I'm going to say this. A lot of people don't. I'm going to say it. If you're a Democrat, and you're out here working hard, trying to provide for your family, I have nothing against Democrats, but to stand there and a lot of people don't see these things because they don't watch enough stuff. But if you sit there and watch all 200 something Democrats vote against deporting the pedophiles and the sex offenders out of this country.
Yeah,
I would no longer be a Democrat. This is sickening because you Democrats have children. You have little girls. You have boys. I'm sure you would not want them, done that way or sold or anything in that area. I'm telling you right now. And a lot of people don't see the real news. They don't see the things that really happen behind doors. But if you go to like Forbes on YouTube and certain outlets, you can find this stuff and you can watch these votes and how these Democrats and Republicans
people don't
vote.
pay attention.
Yes, and you need to assess out your own opinion before you just jump at one of their agendas and get, hot and steamed and hate everybody because of the legacy media. They're false, man. Their ratings are in the toilet. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I don't care if you like Elon Musk or not. You go to Twitter, X, whatever it's called now. I have an account there. You can look it up. I don't care. Go look at the news people, the guys that are the real big podcasters that are actually delivering the news and stuff. They break it down. They're showing you what this side's saying, what this side's doing, and they will allow you to take your own opinion. They're not pushing it on you. They're just exposing it and saying, now you believe what here it is. Here's what we figured out. Here's what we've, dissected. And now it's on you to believe what you believe. Either you believe this nonsense craziness or you believe this stuff here that is common sense stuff that's true,
Well, just like Joe Rogan, he wanted Carmelo to come on and say, hey, just come on my show. We'll sit down and have a conversation. I just want to get to know you. It's not like he was going to, hammer her or anything.
Attack her or anything.
She avoided that because she can't talk for more than 5 minutes without stepping on.
Well, I mean, he even told him, I won't even talk politics. We can just talk.
Yeah. Just have a conversation. Just sit down and have. She can't.
And then they wanted to fly. No, we can fly you out there. He said, I ain't flying nowhere. You come to my studio and I don't blame him. Why should he get up and go to them when she should be coming? And just like them spending $100K on that podcast, that Call Your Daddy podcast, they set up some boxes and stuff in a hotel room and made it look like that girl's podcast. And then they interviewed that girl on a stage, and she said, first of all, I don't know where they got $100,000. That was just cardboard boxes painted in some few things and shelves and stuff and stuff like that. She said, because I tell you,
that's how they spend your money.
Because that girl said, she said something like, I went to, Best Buy or, Hobby Lobby and different things and got my stuff. And she said, I can tell you, it wasn't $100,000 to build my little office podcast room, and most stuff
she didn't even spend that.
Well, the most stuff in the room is the camera, the microphones, and the computer equipment. And we all know we're sitting on them. It's not $100,000. You can spend $100,000 on that stuff, but it's not. The government, Kamala Harris, and all them, they have cameras, they have microphones for free. They're not spending that kind of money on that stuff. So
look, they had $1 billion. They had $1 billion to spend on that campaign. $1 billion. Think about that. $1 billion.
And they went over.
And then she went $20 million over and still got her nowhere.
And still, to this day, they're still trying to take donations, though. They're still asking for people to give to them.
Yeah.
I got a good question. I got a good question for in the side chat, because Tyke Trucking's in the side chat. Tyke Trucking does kind of know what things are going on. He's from Canada. And I actually have a question because I don't know about Canada stuff. But with the prime minister stepping down, what happens in Canada now? I mean, I know what would happen in the United States if that happened, but I don't know what happens in Canada. Is it free roam up there now, or what? Or
I know it's as cold as Canada where I'm at. So I know it's as cold as Canada and ice and snowing where I'm at. So,
but
you're right.
What are they going to do about their system? I mean, who's in charge, really?
I think he still stays in charge until they replace him. Is that how it goes?
But what the bills or laws that's going to have to be sent through? How long is it going to take to actually get him through or get the next person through?
Oh, Tyke's in the UK. He's in the UK.
Oh, okay. And Kazumoto, what's up, buddy?
So he's in the UK.
When that's the thing is, what happens?
Yeah, I don't know.
What happens now? So
I'm sure they're still law and order, but is it like? Is there they call it parliament or whatever?
Who's running is
there parliament?
Who's running the show now?
Inquiries or what?
Hey, Mr. B, thanks for stopping in. But that's been I've been wondering what happens on that. Who runs the show? Because they have the same problem we do with they've got a bunch of sheep herders that came over and started buying the gas stations and everything like that. And is that what's going to happen to all of us? What better way we're all sheep in the United States, not all of us, but as a general case, we follow what we're told. We go down rabbit holes because we get shown there. There's no difference there. So what's going to happen and who's going to run the show? Because essentially there's been talk, it's going to be the 51st state. We all know that's not going to happen because it has to be way more than 51 states. Canada is bigger than Texas and everything's big in Texas. But when you bring it up here, the United States, let alone Texas, is not going to let one state be larger than them. No. So they would have to break it up and make several different states. So that's not going to happen. But realistically, what is going to happen over the next 4 years? Because Trump's going to piss some people off. Is he going to hold the same tariffs against Canada as he does against Mexico?
That's what he told Trudeau.
That's what he's saying.
He told him in person that, hey, if you don't get in line, if you don't step in line and do your fair share and secure your borders, we're going to put tariffs on you. And he didn't like that.
Basically, he said, "Hey, get with the program. You stop this nonsense, or we're going to take over it. We're going to stop you from doing it. You won't get anything through. You know what I mean? You're not going to get anything, or you're not going to get anything through." And
I'm not saying not to come to America. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying everybody can come to America. I'm just saying do it legally. Don't do it illegally. Don't be jumping across the border. Don't be doing that kind of stuff. If you can't come here legally, don't come. We don't want it. At least I don't, because it's not there. You're the problem. If you can't get here legally, then there's something wrong already that you've done that you shouldn't.
Now, there is one thing I do like to discuss about that. Should it take 10 years to process somebody that's sitting in another? I mean, I understand. No, I agree. I'm a red-blooded American, native Cherokee Indian, but I also, 2 Ray brothers came over, from England or Europe or England, wherever over there, and we created our family. But here's the thing. In a way, we're all foreigners in a way, but we're not. I was born in America. I was raised in America. My kids are born in America. My mother was, my grandfather, Should they work on the process of why it takes 7 to 10 years? No, I get vetting people. We need to vet them down to the toenails. You know what I mean? We need to vet their family. We need to know if they have any radical stuff in their distant family, their married family, whatever it may be. I get that. But why does the system always take 7 to 10 years to even vet somebody? Or should it be, because I know they want the right people that's going to contribute back to America and be good. We don't want any bad people in our country, of course, but we got a ton of them now. But here's the thing. Could our country do something to ease in that process? Or is it always going to be messed up? Or, are we going to take the time to vet all these immigrants that's come in our country now?
It took all 3 of us 18 years to have a say in what the government says.
Well, yeah,
it takes those guys 2 years. It takes those guys 2 years. They're adults, and they get to say, after they're vetted and come through the system, they get to say what goes on in the government. It took the 3 of us 18 years each to be able to have a say in the government. So is 7 years too much? No, it's not. I
understand. Well, you just solved my question there, so thank you. No, that's what I wanted to know. But now with the ones that's came here in the last 4 years, now do you think our government's going to take their time and vet each one of these people to stay? Or now we know what he said about the criminals, and he's going to deport all the criminals starting first and all that. I agree. They all should go. I agree. All the other ones should go. They're in this country illegal. First thing they done when they came, they broke the law. They broke the law by.
You already broke the law. You broke the law once you came here.
If I broke the law, I'd be in jail. So
we all would.
Why? Yeah. And we know this administration ain't going to press charges against any, and their woke judges and DAs and all that. But is it realistic for him to deport 20 million people? In 4 years? No.
I don't see it happening. He made a big promise, and he should have never made that promise.
No,
that was a big mistake for Trump.
Send them all to California, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
they love them out
that
there.
was a big mistake from Trump. He should have never promised that he would, first day one, that he was going to deport all these people. You know how much money and time and the effort that's going to take to deport? They're saying that
80 billion a year.
There's like 20 million people at minimum probably that came across over since Biden. How are you going to? I mean, where are you going to get the money? 20 million people. How do you deport them?
Well, they said Tom Homan. They said it was 80 billion a year or something like that to deport 1.2 million a year. And I said, well, you know what?
Money.
Yeah, but I'd rather my taxes go to deporting them than to keeping them up.
Well, either way, it's going to cost.
And feeding them and giving them housing when Americans don't have housing or food. Yeah. I prefer my taxes to go to deporting them instead of feeding them and keeping them housed when there's people like me that I don't own a home. I've never owned a home. I'd love to own a home, It's just not right in my book, So
everybody gets mad.
Or should our money keep going overseas? And hey, are we the only country complaining and saying, "Hey, wait a minute, there's other countries that they're flooding in." I've seen plenty of videos of other countries that are these people are coming in and trying to take over neighborhoods and stuff, and they're just completely,
Oh hell yeah!
they're running them out saying, "No, this is Ireland or Scotland or
I
wherever.
think
This is we're not doing that here." Yeah, and they
I
ripping
think
their flags down. I don't blame them. You're not hanging your flag in my neighborhood.
I think he'll have some success with getting the criminal element out. But to say he's going to deport all these people,
20
I
million.
mean, I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. I don't see him from Congress getting the money to do it. I mean, that's a lot of money. I just don't see it happening.
That was a big promise. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big promise. I don't think he's going to accomplish.
I think they're going to try.
Like I said before, Trump's not the best one for. He was the lesser of the two evils. He's got big dreams. He always has. He put a TV show out about American dreams and things like that. It's the American dream, and he was building it up and up his whole presidential election. False promises, things that aren't going to happen. The entire election for years has been built on that. If you look back in history, it never really happens what they say. It's
none of them ever do it. If they do, it's an executive order for a couple of years and then it's done. It's never written into law where it sticks.
Percentages of America's pissed off about the border and the way that we need to control the border. One side wants it controlled, the other side doesn't. I can tell you one thing, it's across the problem, but Canada doesn't have a wall between the United States but they don't have the problem that we have. We don't want to go to Canada. Well, some of us do. Some of us should. But the other thing is, they're not continuing across the United States. I would love it if Oprah and all those girls would go to Canada and just get out of our hair. That'd be fine. There's a bunch of people. They can deal with it. They don't even have a prime minister now. Just send them all up there. It's all free land, free roam. Everybody go to Canada. It's great.
There's no travel ban on horses' asses for them.
As an American, we can't just walk into Canada. You got to go through. You got to go through customs. You got to go through all that stuff.
You're not allowed to carry liquid. You're not allowed to carry food.
I say my opinion. Don't be a smartass to the customs guys. Don't do it at Border Patrol. If you ever got to cross, they don't have a sense of humor. You joke with them, you're gonna get stuck up. I got stuck for 3.5 hours in customs just because of my mouth.
They are strict on what you can carry in and out of their country and like food and stuff, liquid stuff and things like drinks. And I think it's because they produce their things in Canada, and they don't want, like, even if you're Canadian and you're coming down to say Sturgis motorcycle rally, like they go through, I know a couple of fellers that did it and do it every year. They search their bag, they're not allowed to carry certain items, and I'm like, that's crazy because they're not allowed to carry drinks. They have to, or anything liquid or food and things like that. And I get, certain things you're not allowed to get through, carried. But you don't see too many of Americans saying, hey, we're rushing the Canadian border, we want to go to Canada, and I mean, there is an issue, though.
Unless you're the women from The View. They're every election that they lose, they're going to another country.
Yeah.
But yet they stay here.
They're
still here.
The only one I've seen is Ellen DeGeneres, and that's because she's wanted by the P. Diddy party. So, I mean, that's why she left. I mean, in my opinion, she didn't leave because Trump's a president. She didn't leave last time when Trump was president. She left because the list is getting deep,
Yeah.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole. I mean, that's a crazy,
Oh.
And they're like, Trump's going to just walk us all away. And I think it's good they took her off air. I think it's good they took a lot of, because she was mean to her staff. Reports come out that she was very verbally abusive and just hateful to people. That's why she lost her job. That's why she never ran her show anymore. I mean, she was a complete fraud. She put on this smiley face and happy-go-lucky and loved everybody. Frauds. Yeah, just like Oprah. You get a car, you get a car, you get a transgender, you get a transgender, you get a, I mean, it's all crazy. And then they put on this show, and then, I had to pay you $2 million to support me. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's a complete wash, in my opinion, man.
Tyke commented on fiat currency being backed by jack shit. You know, our currency ain't nothing anymore. They want to get rid of currency.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to plastic. You know, they want your cards going. You go to big venues, things like that. You go to Sturgis, you go to the Daytona, you go to sporting events. They don't take cash. Cash is not accepted. Do you think that the businesses are doing that? No. The businesses get charged for the credit cards just like you do. That's the big want wanting to push not have the dollar because they're making money on your money. They want you to use that card. Businesses would rather pay cash unless they don't trust their employees. And if they don't trust their employees, that's their own fault that they have to push credit cards. But if you're trying not to use cash to pay for things or gold, silver, that's the way it's been for years. But now you want to use a simple piece of plastic, which apparently does not melt when it's in a fire inside a high expensive thing because they can identify you by your credit card that didn't melt. So,
the only time you need cash is when your car gets towed or you have a flat.
My example,
that's the only time you need cash.
I know there's fact checkers out there on the things that I don't say, and I want you to fact check something on this. Just everybody out there that's watching this, I do this for entertainment. Everything I say might be true, might not be true, but I can guarantee you this one thing. The fire of the Cybertruck was so hot that I guarantee it probably would have melted a credit card. If you don't believe this, the best way to fact check it, go get your wallet, grab your favorite credit card, go grab a lighter, light the lighter, hold your credit card over it for 30 seconds, and then go try to use that credit card.
Exactly. And not only that, passport made of paper and plastic. Come on. I mean, you know,
that stuff is melted.
You can melt the daggum candle lid.
The pistol was melted.
If you
the
ain't
pistol
careful.
had damage.
Yes. What was that? A desert
eagle? A windshield had collapsed. Do you know what temperature glass melts at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they couldn't. He was burnt. The biggest thing is, I'm sorry to jump off on this rabbit hole, but this one kills it. Is the fact that they say he was burnt beyond recognition.
You know,
I put chicken inside of the stove before, and I burnt chicken skin where it's got black and charred. But in the same sentence, the sheriff turns around and said, "But we identified him by his tattoos on his arm and stuff."
Yeah. But so when you burn that chicken, you still know it's a chicken
tattoo. Now, that being said, anybody that's got tattoos, it goes in the first couple layers of the skin. Third-degree burns, which they said he had, gets into the muscle and are very painful. Yeah. It's where the skin starts to fall off. So if you have a tattoo and your tattoo artist hits your bone and inscribed your tattoo in there, you guarantee you didn't go back to that guy to get a second tattoo that they could identify because you're going to be in pain for a long time.
Yeah. You're not getting a refund. He's not getting no more customer from you. So.
Yeah. Definitely, You get burned up in a car like that, fire like that. They're not going to recognize you by a damn tattoo because it's not going to be there anymore. Your skin's
it's funny how
they threw it out there. They threw it out there that his DNA did not match his son. That's their scapegoat because they threw it out there for 2 years. They can get both sides of the story.
Back on. Yep.
They got both sides of the story. They have a fall guy. Either way, if they find him and he's alive, well, we told you the DNA didn't match his son.
Yeah.
Or they get the other side of this saying, "Oh, he cracked. He went off the PTSD rant and just cracked his head and he went crazy because it wasn't his kid that he was raising." Yeah. Well, I can tell you that most of it, I can tell you over 70%, not sure on that number, but I would say a larger amount of veterans that crack, they don't hurt themselves. Well, they hurt themselves, but they don't hurt their family. They don't hurt other people. They just take themselves out, which eventually it realistically does hurt their family because that being said, if you're a veteran and you watch this in anywhere, shape or form at that level of your life where you're that way, reach out to somebody, reach out to one of your friends, talk to somebody, Please. Will listen to you. It's not that bad.
Contact somebody locally, or even if you have to do it social media. We're all out here. I'm not a veteran, but the man down below me is. You know, it's not easy. I'm not going to say it's easy, but with someone that has dealt with mental issues, and things and different things, not exactly what y'all have dealt with, but certain things that PTSD I've dealt with in certain situations. You can get on social media and reach out to people will listen Don't feel like you're not man enough, like, oh, because there's such a stigma going around of us men. And I'll admit it, man. Hey, I'll tell you if I'm having an issue or if my anxiety, I can't get on or something's going on, but there's such a stigma around men having to be this manly man that for so many years it's been, pushed
Not so
down
much
through the
anymore.
generations of where you can't talk about your fit, you can't reach out. I'm talking about for our people, for the veterans or for the real man, not these little girly men running around with pink and purple hair. I'm talking about the men that feel like, hey, I'm the head of the household. I'm this, I'm the provider. I raise my kids.
Men like
I have
us.
to be we have to be the protectors. I can't show weakness. You know what I mean? No, yes, you can. And it ain't showing weakness. It's just saying, hey, I need to talk. Do you have, I mean, seriously, and this question goes for anybody listening, anybody inside chat or anybody on the screen. Do you have a 3 a.m. guy? Do you have somebody you can call at 3 a.m. and they will get up and answer the phone and not ignore you and say, hey, are you all right? What's going on? I do. Yeah. Trust me, I've been to those places. I've been to them things. I have one of those guys. I am one of those guys for a certain person. Because I am up at 3 a.m. in the morning. Every morning I get up early. So, but I'm serious. If you don't, maybe that's something you need to look into. So, and yes, we're all for entertainment purposes only. Please, if you're under 18, please go back to school. Get off this. It's not meant for you, children. And if you're grown and you have a child's mind, it's not meant for you either. So please ignore what, don't be stupid. We're talking about real life events. This is our opinions and discussions. You're free to, leave a comment in the side chat. We will answer some of them. We will talk to you guys. We're not like, the big time people. We don't ignore people unless they give us money. We're not like that. We do like to communicate with our side chat. We do like other people's opinions. We enjoy.
Question, drop it
yes,
down.
we the why we do this. The live streams. We enjoy talking to the community. It's not just about us three talking to each other. Like I said, if you don't have a 3 a.m. guy or girl, I should always say that. I keep forgetting a girl because there is females that serve and all that. But you don't even have to be a vet. You don't even have to serve. Like me, I was born disabled, so I couldn't serve. If you just need somebody to reach out to, man, there's someone always there. I promise you that. Don't feel like there's no one there. There is someone there. Somebody. But find your 3 a.m. guy or girl and know that person has your back and they will answer for you. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right, sorry guys, I'm back. I had to take that phone call.
That's all right, man. Hey, business is business, brother. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm back. My phone rang and it said U.S. government, but I'm a VA. It was a VA calling me.
They're watching us right now, man.
I'm getting heated in the discussion. All of a sudden,
do you remember that little?
You got nervous.
Hey, do you remember your phone when you hit allow access, all access to your photos and camera? They're watching you right now.
So got your access.
They're all on you right now. So,
it was the VA calling back. It was the VA calling back at my appointment. But man,
I was gonna say anytime the government says government, it's got to be the VA or I don't know. I don't get government calls. So.
Oh man. That's crazy.
They're watching all of us, guys. I mean, we got,
Oh, their eyes are everywhere. You can't go anywhere without them.
And I don't care what they say. Oh, we're putting up a cell phone tower. Really? What for? So your phone picks up. No, so you can listen to us and watch us. That's why they need signal.
I mean, everywhere you go.
Yeah.
That's where they do it.
It's a handheld communication device for them.
Yeah. We all, pretty much not all of us, but I know the three of us have seen the Sean Ryan show or seen all the other of these large podcasters. Yes. You know what the other thing is? Those guys aren't using these phones.
No, they use the
secured phones. All those special op guys, they have a fear of the government knowing what's going on.
Like they're literally paranoid every day.
They have a fear of letting government control things. So
but they still do, though. The government still control. How do you get out of that mindset, though, Salty? Because it's so hard for them. Because they are, or not just them. There is a lot of people out there that's just straight paranoid constantly, every day about the government. That would take a toll on my mental state, man. It would really take I'm not paranoid, but my eyes are open. You know what I mean? I'm not just sitting in the dark, not thinking that the government ain't, but a lot of people now, look, there's a lot of people I've met in life when I lived in Florida, different places. They could care less what's going on in the government or anything. They live their life. You could ask them who the president is. They wouldn't have a clue.
They wouldn't know.
They don't know. I mean, I'm sorry.
Most
I'm not that kind of person.
know.
I like to know what's going on. So I don't see how, but I also don't see how people can just be so paranoid that they're miserable. You know what I mean? Like their mindset, it's so straining on their mental state that they're, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing to be worried about the government doing something? Which those guys I'm not saying what they're doing. I'm just saying those guys have that experience of being military and stuff. They understand it more than I do because they know more things that goes on and the government's capable of doing. So,
well, I can tell you, they don't let dumb guys into the special forces. Those guys,
and I get that, but I also get why are you on social media with 1 million followers talking if you're that paranoid and you're that skeptic about the government?
Because they're getting the message out so people know. They're trying to share that it's freedom of speech. It's their way to get it out. We all have freedom of speech.
Right.
It's a conspiracy theory and things like that. We limited freedom of speech. I mean,
that's a conspiracy theory itself, is freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Or freedom, whatever you want to call it.
Are we really free? I mean, how free are we really? We're not really that free. We don't really have freedom of speech. There for a little while, we almost didn't have none.
You really don't have freedom of anything. You get pulled over, what's the first thing a cop asks you? Where are you going? Where are you coming from? That ain't freedom. That ain't your business. Well,
look, it's like
I go anywhere I want.
Yeah.
It's not your business where I come from. Exactly. That's not your business where I come from.
But you're supposed to tell that officer everything.
Exactly. Give him your license and everything. Here's all my information, buddy. That ain't how it works. We should be able to walk barefoot from coast to coast if we want and no questions asked.
I mean, the reality of it is that the government can do what they want, but it just goes back to the same thing. The Cybertruck, a lot of stuff leads my mind back to that rabbit hole is too much, because you say, what do you do to get your mind away from things or not have that conspiracy theory? The government also controls where you're looking and what you're doing by the Cybertruck experience. My personal theory is things in Vegas, the way that they happen, they stay in Vegas. But how many bodies do you think come up missing in Vegas that they could have just picked a body up, shot it, threw it in the truck, and burned it? And said that this guy.
Oh, yeah.
It's the biggest conspiracy theory. There's so many different ways it could have went. And they're making you look that way.
Yeah. They could have brought one from a funeral home or whatever. And, I mean, seriously, they plant this guy's deceased, has no family, this homeless man or whatever. Hey, we'll throw him in there. Of course, the DNA don't match.
But they will tell everybody, and they will look at us and say we're conspiracy theories, we're serious, we're nuts, we're crazy, and that's how they get away with all this stuff. Is say, oh, you're just crazy. Those people are crazy. They're Trump people, they're MAGA people, they're nuts. That's how they get away with it. They do things in plain sight. They do, and then they throw out different conspiracies. And basically, we're doing what they want us to do. We're sitting here talking about it. We're sitting here talking about the whole thing.
Yeah, we're putting it out there so more people are digging into it. That's exactly it.
Yeah,
I mean,
2.4. I think I don't know what you're talking. He says this is not.
Yeah, it is. I just checked it. It's what we were talking about. It's the vertical 3 format.
Right.
Yep.
No.
Okay.
I just verified it. I just went over to Ray's Motor Life, hit the like button. So everybody that's watching, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, unsubscribe if you don't like us. We don't care. But at least hit one of the buttons. Dislike, like it, hit something on your way out the door. But don't let the door hit you in the ass if you don't like what we're saying.
And now that you have certified your channel as a political channel, and we're talking about politics, this is how much the government really follows us. Now, when I scroll down under John's political writer channel, and I take the chat away, right under it says the 2024 election, United States elections, Electoral College has confirmed Donald Trump. That's good, though. That's what you want, though. Yes, but that's the proof right there. And I'll show you on camera That is proof right there that they pick up everything you say.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
live right now, and it says right there the politics stuff, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it ain't
Yeah.
gonna focus, but anyways, yeah. So just like anything you scroll through, any kind of short or video, if you watch just a split 3 seconds or so of it, guess what? You're gonna get in your feed the thing that video was about. They know everything
Yeah.
about us through these phones. They're
Yeah.
really like evil in my opinion,
Yeah.
because when I grew up, we had house phones, which we didn't have many, one or two throughout my childhood, because that's the way it was. But here's the thing. We thought we were doing big when we actually had an answering machine with a tape you could rewind, I mean, it was crazy, but I'm serious, man. It was wild, and call
I
waiting
think
come
my dad
along.
had me,
And
so he
then
had remote control.
then you had call waiting, So landlines were always the best. A lot of people don't actually even have landlines anymore. Some people still use landlines for their internet
Not very many
services and
people.
stuff. We used them for the old AOL dial-up network or something like that at one time. I remember my mom when she worked in the security insurance business downtown Nashville, big high-rise building. They gave her one of those big square phones, and she carried it in her car. It wasn't the car phone. It was an actual cell phone. It had a battery pack. She could take, and charge it and stuff. And it was a big square black block.
One of those big,
yes, the big square ones with the big black antenna. It was wild because we were kids, and we were like, whoa, that's crazy. That's a phone. What? We never said cell phone. We didn't know nothing about a cell phone. The reason they say cell phone is because it's a cell tower. Your phone picks up off these cell towers, and that's why they call it a cell phone, guys. If you never knew the definition of a cell phone, there it is. It's because these cell towers they keep implanting in all our places is why the phone is called a cell phone. It's not because they sell it. It's because we're picking up off a cell tower. So.
They were free phones when Obama was office. Remember?
That's right.
Cell phones.
Yeah,
free phones.
Yeah.
Obama phones, right? It was another part of Free America.
Yeah.
Free America.
You guys forgot about
I think
that.
that guy's relevant. That guy ain't even
stuff.
nothing. I think Trump ended him. I think he ended
No,
himself.
I think
no, I mean
like
Trump doing certain things. Yeah, no, I believe he ended himself. But what I'm saying, Trump came in and got certain things done that they liked, and a lot of people said, okay, so Obama ain't that great. You know what I mean? At being president. I'm not saying as a popular person. He's popular, star, whatever you call it. He's famous. No, but he's gotten older. The generations has gone through. But here's the thing. When he come out and said what he did to the black communities, oh man, do you know how many of those black men stood up and said, wait a minute, because I watched them. I watched plenty of them say, wait a minute, man, you're not our father. You're not our God. We don't worship you. You're not our Messiah. Yeah. You don't sit and come out and tell us and threaten us that, if Michelle was ill, what is she going to do? What, she's not my wife. She's not my mother. What's your wife that has no knowledge of none of this, that grew a garden and said, the only thing I want to do while you're president is make the kids' school lunch unsalty and worse for them. Trust me, my kid hates it. She takes her own lunch or buys her lunch. She will not eat that school lunch. It is disgusting. And they don't even give the kids enough to even eat. I'm telling you, trust me, I know. My kids was little in elementary going through that. And
when Michelle was vice president, we've seen way more of her than we did of Harris when she was vice president.
Yeah. I mean, she was on the cover of Vogue how many times? And then now, I mean, they won't even put Melania on cover.
Let's admit
she's like, I don't need it. I got my own book.
We've had Hillary for president for the last how many Democratic presidents?
Yeah. And that's another topic we should be talking about. This award, man, it's blowing up on the internet. Why do they give these awards to these people? I've
never seen anything like it.
The most civilian highest award awarded. Why would you give it to these George Soros, Hillary Clinton, the
because they do their big.
I can't say what I want, because someone did a video of her, and then as soon as he put it on her neck, like her arm spanning and fire come out, she grew horns and everything, and it was like, oh my God, I seen that video, and I about cracked up. I was like, because it said the true Hillary comes out after getting the award, and I was like, why would you give? If you look it up, Salty or John, look up how many Obama gave out, how many Trump gave out, how many Biden gave out. See, I think was it Obama or Bush? One of them gave out a ton of those awards and to people that didn't even need it. I mean, it's crazy. I'm surprised. Yeah, the Medal of, what is it, honor or Medal of something?
I don't know what it's called. Congressional
Medal. Their Democrats are giving out participation trophies. Everybody can get many one. Medals? It doesn't matter. It's got to be a participation thing. Civilian.
President Barack Obama awarded 118 medals to the most of any president, followed by President Bill Clinton with 89 medal recipients. Two people, Ellsworth Bunker and Colin Powell, are two-time recipients of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's what it is, ain't it? The Medal of Freedom or something like that.
Yeah.
So Obama gave it to more than. That is crazy. 118 medals.
As part of that too, you got to look at the times when they were given out, like during time of war, things like that. There's more medals given out when wars and all sorts of that stuff. There's more stuff given out at those times.
Yeah, and I get it too. But that's like saying, here, I'm going to pardon 300 people or 1,000 people.
I mean, let's talk about the elephant in the room is the fact that they're fighting this huge, huge drug problem in the United States. And you're the president and you're trying to control drugs and all this stuff, but you let him in the White House and then you pardon your son. I mean, come on. It was snowing inside the White House. And everybody has turned a blind eye. Nothing happened. So ain't no wonder he wanted the border open his Sunday to more drugs.
Well, here's the thing. I seen I don't know if it's real, but I did see a thing where they said they were making a Blow Part 2. Do you remember that movie with Johnny Depp, Blow?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So is it going to star Hunter Biden? I mean, no, it's supposed to star Johnny Depp and the Penelope, whatever her name.
No, he's already at Gun Movie where they did all the gun sales.
Yeah. But it just doesn't make
crazy.
sense.
I mean, the stuff that
to some of these people you would give a medal.
Think if that would have happened.
I haven't seen them do anything.
Just think if that would have been found in the White House.
They would have threw
him out. They'd have put him in jail.
Oh, it would have been impeached and more impeached.
It would have been crazy, man.
I'm telling you, that's why I keep thinking they're going to try to do something as soon as he right before he takes office, or just
because they certified that election today
doesn't mean that
he has to be signed. He has to be sworn in.
Yeah.
So be careful in the next couple of weeks because you don't know what the hell's going to happen. You just don't know. We're
going to have boats and hose in the White House now because Trump's in there. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's crazy because I just don't think that they keep saying, well, they can't impeach him. They can't investigate. Yes, they can. Yeah, they may not have the numbers to completely do it.
Yeah, but
you don't think they can't sit and investigate behind the curtains and do things?
Well, they already swore that if they get the House and the Senate in the midterms, that they're going to impeach him. They're already writing up the articles. It's already there. They've already got what they're going to impeach him on. So they're just waiting and hoping that they regain the House and the Senate. Because if they do, they're going to try to impeach him again. And they might get it done this time. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, didn't Jamie Raskin or whatever said, or one of them said that he would not take out, they were going to pull that amendment on him, the 14th or something like that. He was talking about a while back. Said Trump would never take office again, that they were going to pull.
They're still swearing that.
Yeah.
They're still swearing that.
Yeah.
So something's going on.
They're saying that they're not going to let him. So what are they going to wait till he gets to the door and then, say no, have the government.
They're going to throw him in jail they're going to throw him in jail. But the thing is, by the Constitution, even if he goes to jail, even if he's convicted of a felony, he's still as president.
Yeah.
They can't stop that.
He's
He would
elected
be,
by.
yeah, he'd be president from prison. So that's where he'd be president.
he was duly elected by the country. I mean, but do you know? I don't know. Do you see an uprising? Do you think the people would stand up if they did handcuff him and put him somewhere? Do you think the American people would do anything?
No.
Do you think they would just sit back and say, "Okay, JD Vance, you take over"?
They don't care. The American people care, but they don't. They're not strong enough to do anything. They will not organize. People say, "Well, they organized and backed Trump." Yeah, but when you're talking about going against your government, and like say if you talk about civil war or anything like that, the American people are never going to do that. There's never going to be another civil war here because Americans are too scared. They're scared to do anything. It's not going to happen. In my opinion, you'll never see that. People say, "Oh yeah, eventually there's going to be a civil war."
No, because you'll get 20 or 30 together, and then the other ones won't follow, and then you'll have they're just a white supremacy group, or this or that.
We said this in the other live we were doing in ours. I think I said it, but it's like the people have the power. People need to understand the American people have all the power. They just made you think all these years that you don't have the power, but you really do. Just take for one example. Give me 1 second. Let me give you an example. The Bud Light put that thing on their can. Okay, that person. I'm not going to say their name. Okay, so we as American people said, all right, we don't like that. So we're going to take you to your knees and basically almost bankrupt you. Right there shows you how much power we really do have. And we have that power with the government too, if we would use it. The thing is, people are afraid to use it against the government. They're scared of the government.
But how would that work? Nobody vote? Nobody do nothing that? I mean, no one even show up and vote or anything?
No, you just take.
No, I'm saying like if American people stood up and said, "Hey, we don't want none of you up there. We're because look at all the mess that right now." And they said, "Hey, we're not even going to go vote. We're not going to show up." What would they do?
January 6th.
No, I'm saying vote.
I'm going to stop short of saying what we could do, but people know out there what we could do. I'm not going to say specifically what we could do, but people know what I'm talking about. So yes, you can do it. You have the power to do it.
I mean, they even tried to stop the ride to Washington with the motorcycles. What was that called? Didn't they start that again?
Rolling Thunder?
Yeah. And I mean,
they didn't try
how
to
many
stop
of those actually, but how many people rode in that and came from all over the country?
That the people that were doing it stepped down. That was kind of false representation. The people that were putting it on, they stepped down and nobody else was taking it back over. That wasn't shut down by the government.
No. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is look how many people got on a motorcycle and rode to Washington. Take out the Freedom Ride. Just think about that. How many? 30, 40,000, 100,000?
Yeah.
I mean, you imagine if people really stood up and said, "We've had enough of this." If 30,000 can ride on a motorcycle, how come
it's not going to happen?
I know.
It's not going to happen.
Too many people say, "I got to go eat, man. I need to eat." I'm living by. No, really, they live by this right here. They live by a clock, time, a phone.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost dinner time, or it's almost. You know what I mean? I gotta have.
Time is
I gotta go do this. Yes, they live.
It's all about the dollar.
Time,
it's the dollar.
And they
Americans,
in their mind, the government's going to take our money. They're going to take everything away from us. I'm not going to stand up against it.
Even though we had 4 years of a horrible economy, Americans are they're lazy. I mean, I'm sorry if you don't like it. I understand it. Don't have to watch the channel. I don't care. But they're lazy. They don't want to work for nothing. They want they're living. As long as they got food, lights on in their house, and heat in their house, and their internet or their gaming. They don't give a crap about nothing else. They don't care.
They care about social media or you're right. The games, they're
now it's come out a little bit in this election that somebody cares because we kind of took a different direction. But how long will we stay in that direction? How long are we going to stay in that direction? Because Americans, man, America ain't what it used to be, even when I was growing up. I mean, it ain't nothing what it used to be like.
And I'm not that old. I'm 44, so it's not even when I was a teenager. I was born 80, so I grew up as a young kid in the 80s, and then the early 90s, I was, teenager listening to the music that came out. And
don't even get me started on.
No, I'm saying it was such a great. Like, no,
Yeah.
like the early 90s and the mid was so fun for me as a teenager. Like, it was, I didn't know a lot of stuff about politics. I didn't know a lot of government stuff. I didn't pay attention to that stuff, which I wished I would have. You know what I mean? I wished I
Yeah.
would have done
Yeah.
more. I wished I would have paid attention more. And
I had to pay
because
attention
I was
because
a
that's what my
kid.
dad was about.
You know, see, I didn't have that figure, so I didn't know. You know, we ran, we did whatever.
And
But
Moto,
the thing is, we didn't have that structure like that. But I
No.
wished I would have paid attention more. I wished I could have done more. And
yeah,
but that I can tell from the 90s to now. I mean, it's so it's changed. It's so
well, just
big
like
of a
what we
difference.
was talking about earlier. Uh-oh,
He
we
must
lost
he
him.
must have had to step out.
Just like I was talking about earlier about, I think me and you were discussing it about
I
kids
don't
don't even want to
There
kids
he
don't
is.
even want to kids don't even want to go out and shovel snow anymore.
Yeah.
Kids don't even want to go out and cut grass anymore. I was telling the wife this morning, we got all the snow here. I said, I said, I don't feel like shoveling that snow because I have arthritis. And it hurts
Yeah.
me so bad to do it. I said, hopefully a kid will come down the street and want to shovel it. She goes, that ain't going to happen. She goes, these
No.
kids ain't going to come over here and shovel
They're
snow.
too comfortable on their Xboxes.
Yeah, watching playing their
Yeah.
games because school's out. My kids,
Yeah.
you know what my kids were doing on a day like this when they were kids? They were out with a shovel, walking up
Yeah.
and down the street, shoveling snow. They were
I
getting.
bought my
they
first
made-
motorcycle that way.
Yeah, they were making $300 a day going out and shoveling snow. They pushed that lawnmower around like I did as a kid, pushed the lawnmower around the neighborhood, cut people's grass. That's how you did. Kids
Yep.
these days don't do none of that stuff, man. You don't see it anywhere. It's
Well,
changed.
yeah.
America's just changed.
Well, that's what I was saying. We were oil and tobacco, and if you know anything back in oil and tobacco in the late 80s and 90s, certain farmers didn't have the big equipment, so he would hire us teenagers and kids, and we would put the 80-pound pack or 50-pound whatever of oil, and we would walk through, and you would oil each, and it was like a little squirter, like a weed killer squirter, but it was oil for tobacco, and you'd walk through and squirt so much on each top of each tobacco plant, and we were getting back then, like I said, about $5 an hour. We $40-50 a day. We thought we were doing good. You know what I mean? As a teenager, making that money. But that's what we were doing. We were baling hay. We were doing that kind of stuff. We wasn't sitting inside on video games. We couldn't even afford a TV. We were seriously like we couldn't. We were outdoor kids, man. And if her mother was home, she was like, get out of my house, go play, you're driving me crazy, go do something until the street lights until dark. She would say go play until it gets dark. And I know a lot of people say, oh, that the generation growing up, it was our generation. We drank out of water hoses. We didn't care if there were spider webs up in there or none of that. We didn't pay attention to that. Because every once in a while you'll see that little white web up in there, and it's like we did. We drank out of water hoses.
Reckless.
We did so many things. We painted by numbers. We did, there was so much stuff we did outside, and we enjoyed it though. We wanted to be outside. When it snowed good, we would build snowman igloos and things. Even as 10, 12, 13-year-old kids, 15-year-old, we were always outside doing things and completely. Just enjoying life. Now, even I'll say I've raised my kids conservative, very good. In my opinion, I believe they're very respectful, all that stuff. But they have a habit now that they're later teens. But they work. They've been working since they were, capable of working. My daughter's 15. She's had her job, or she's 16. She turned 16 November. She's been working since probably a whole year and a half. Well, since she turned 15, they gave her a job because of all this crap going on. So she's been working, and then my oldest daughter went to work in healthcare, sitting with people that needed people to sit with them. As soon as she graduated, or before she graduated, she went right into working, saved her money. She worked at Save-A-Lot first, then went into healthcare. And she saved her money, bought her a decent car, and now that she started college, she's had to go back to Save-A-Lot. They let her come back because she's such a good worker. They're like, hey, come on, your weekend hire, because that's what she needs now is weekends, because she's in school classes, 5 days a week. So she still works. She knows she's not getting a free ride. We don't charge her rent or any of that stuff, but my rules in my house, you're going to work or go to school if you're going to live here,
Oh, hell yeah.
And even for my high schooler. I didn't tell her that. She said, "Hey, I want a job. I want to buy my own stuff." I said, "Hey, great.
Yeah.
Let's find you a
Take care of
job." So
herself.
she went to work at 15. She still works. She plays softball for the girls' high school. She's played softball since she could walk, since T-ball, and played, basketball for the growing up for the elementary life, all her elementary life in school, and got to high school and wanted to focus more on softball and all that. So, and then she works and she's part of the school. She goes to the events and all that stuff. So, they don't just sit, clumbered up, on video games. Now she does. The youngest one does play video games, and she likes her cell phone. She's a girl. She's a teenage girl. Which teenage girl or boy doesn't? But she also, that's not her life. She works. She has other things that she does. So, there's a big difference when you let your kid just sit closed up in a room and you don't even know what's going on with your kid because they're on social media or playing video games and streaming and doing all that stuff, and then. Because I think a lot of parents don't even have a clue what their kid's doing in those rooms, or who they're talking to or any of that stuff.
Right.
But my kid,
Right.
we communicate with my kid, and she goes to work every day. I take her to school, I pick her up, take her to work, go pick her up from work because she's got her permit. She's turned 16 now. So we're just waiting till the end of the month where she can get her license. And then she'll take my truck and go do all that because that's what I do. I let them drive my truck. I let the first one, drive it to the high school and go to work and stuff till she could get her own. So, and now I'll let this one take my truck and she'll drive it to school and then to work and stuff like that. So, but they're good kids and I trust them with it. And that's because the way they act. The way they carry themselves and stuff.
Yeah, but it's not like that forever. You got lucky.
Yeah. Well, I
it's
just
not
got.
like that
I
society.
have authority in my
That's
house.
it right there.
I have authority in my house. That's
And
why.
see, that's what you got. But most people are told not to have that. They're telling you not to.
Gentle parenting.
Yes.
Gentle
Yeah,
parenting.
you got to be a friend to your child. Oh,
You can't spank them. Yeah.
I'm a friend of my child. No, you're a parent. You're a provider.
Exactly.
You're a disciplinarian. That's what you are, and that's what creates a good quality.
You've got to
person
raise
that grows
a
up.
kid, teach a kid what's right, what's wrong, everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I raised them the way I was raised.
we were all raised, and most of us raised our kids not to talk to strangers. But look at us now. But that's beside the point. That we teach
I'm on a
everybody
podcast talking to
do these
strangers.
things that the whole thing is you have to discipline, you have to teach. If you don't teach your kids, even I teach my kids, all my kids are taught about motorcycles, my grandkids, as a passion. But if you don't teach that stuff and pass it down, then it's gonna die. All that stuff is gonna die. I don't even think they teach U.S. government inside of schools anymore. I know when I was in school, it was a required class that we had to take. I hated it. I failed it, but I didn't.
Dude, they just passed a law this morning. They just passed a law. I think New Jersey or somebody just passed a law that teachers do not even have to know basic math or reading or anything to be a teacher. They're hiring teachers that don't even know how to read. Seriously, look it up. It's a law. They just passed a law like yesterday or whatever. They told it this morning that it's either New Jersey or I think it's New Jersey. The state can hire teachers, and then one person commented and said, we need teachers, so we got to hire people, or something like that. He said he made a comment, and not even requiring them to know the basic reading, math, or any of that. Yeah,
I'm like, New Jersey. Have you ever tried to hear them talk?
And that's what they said. The kids can't even read
I'm
anyway.
just kidding.
They're saying the kids can't even read. How are you going to hire a teacher that don't know how to read when the kids now still can't even read? So,
yeah, man, it's crazy, dude. So much craziness going on, and I expect a lot more craziness to go on.
It's going to go bad. It's going to get bad.
Yeah, it's going to get bad. They're just not going to let Trump just walk in there and everything's just going to be easy and he's going to do whatever he wants to do, even if they let him walk in. I mean, it's going to get crazy. I mean, it is. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it ain't going to be good. I'll tell you that right now.
I want to see him walk up to Biden and just tell him you're fired. That's the only part I want to see.
Yeah. You're fired.
You're fired. Well, how did it have to feel for her today, Kamala Harris, for her to certify, be up there, and she has to be the one standing there.
She lost.
She's the she lost. How did it have to feel for her?
She did a good job, though. I mean, for doing her job for the first time, I thought that she did a very good job.
Yeah.
So,
That was the first time we ever seen her do her job. That's
yeah, I
crazy.
know, but she did it. She finally did a job so let's give her props. And
Yeah, she did her job at the last day of her job.
Yeah.
That's when she did her job. It's crazy. Great, but it had to be horrible for her. I mean, it had to be. If it was me, it would be horrible for me to stand up there and just knowing I lost. And not that I just lose. She lost horribly. I mean, she lost. Was it worse than history or second worst?
it was
in
worst
history that she
landslide in
lost?
history, U.S. history.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, come on. And she had to stand up there and certify. I'm surprised she did it. I'm surprised it actually happened. I really am. I'm surprised.
I've asked this question before. No, I haven't been answered it, but let's just flip the coin real quick on this whole day. What would have happened if she would have won? Who would have certified her?
Well, that's a good question.
Huh? I didn't think about that.
Nobody thought about that in the whole thing, but there's nothing in there that says anything about that.
Yeah, I don't even.
Yeah, because she's the president of the House, right? Or that place or Congress.
no.
It's
or
a vice president's
No,
job
she's
to
just-
certify the votes.
She's
Yes,
but what I'm
she's
saying
vice
is,
president.
yeah, because ain't she like in charge of that? Like,
She's the president of the House.
yeah.
Yeah, president of the House.
So
That's I got that. I learned that
She's
when they said
yeah,
Mr.
when they say Madam President,
Yeah,
that's when I
she's the
learned that.
president. Yeah, she's the president of the House.
I learned
Um,
something from the show. So everybody inside chat that Stones and you can learn something. I learned
Yeah.
something.
Oh, I knew it was. That's why they always say that. But the thing is,
Yeah.
you're right.
It sounded
Who would've
funny
served-
though.
would
When they
it
said
been-
Madam President, it sounded really weird.
Would it have been the speaker
Yeah,
to certify
president of the
her,
House.
or would it have been the next person down? The
I don't
speaker,
know. I have to ask good old Google, I guess, because I don't.
Or
have
would
no
it have
idea.
been
Google knows everything.
Slow Mo Joe up there certifying her? Headed
The
like, what
next
am I
right
certifying
speaker
you
would
for?
Have been the one who certified. Okay, Roland says the next speaker would have been the one.
That's
who
what I thought. The
certified it.
speaker, yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Next one, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Well, let's just thankfully it wasn't that it didn't
It
go
would've
that
been
way.
Johnson.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Do what?
Yeah, we could get into a whole new thing with Johnson, man. That guy.
Yeah, I
just
think that's for another
don't trust him.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
trust him. I think
Well,
it's gonna be a
he's
big
been there
problem.
too long, man.
It's
He's
going to be a big problem.
well. I think he's such a weenie. He's gonna go with the flow. Whatever Trump says, he's gonna do. In my opinion, he's gonna do whatever. He's a follower, not a leader. You know what I mean?
So-
He's kind of that
No,
guy.
I think
that
he's going to disrupt things. I think he's going to disrupt. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he said whatever he had to say to Trump to keep to stay speaker, and I think he's going to give Trump problems. I really
think
do.
so?
Yeah, because he's a freaking rhino Democrat. He's no better than a Democrat. I'm going to get upset. I'm going to have to calm down here a little bit. But he's a rhino. He's a Democrat. He just almost got a bill passed to give the Democrats everything they wanted. I mean, come on. What does that tell you? You don't need to know any more than that. The guy is a rhino. All right, I'm done.
I mean, why would Trump not see that though? I mean, why would he not suss that out?
Trump
Why,
just
why
wants-
is he
well,
not somebody
listen.
around him saying, "Hey, this guy's no good. Get rid of him"?
Well, Trump had to have that. He couldn't have Jeffries. He was a Democrat, so he had to
Yeah, I
have that
know.
Republican. So he had to, like you say, Salty says, the lesser of two evils. He had to have the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, I think
then you
we're
got-
in for a ride, man. I think we're in for a ride for the next few months. I mean,
I mean,
or for a while,
wait
but
till-
the next few months is going to be interesting.
wait till Elon Musk starts looking at the government spending and things like that.
That's
I mean,
enough
you want
for it. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
the amount of waste.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I mean, they flipped. The Democrats and the media flipped out over what the government shutdown. I mean, they pushed that crap so hard. Oh my God, it's our government shutdown. Elon Musk
Those
is this, and
governments-
Elon Musk
those-
is controlling this, and he's the president and all this. If they flipped out that much over just that simple thing right there, how much are they going to flip out when Trump actually takes office and Elon comes to the White House? You know
Well,
what I mean?
They use that government shutdown bull crap. It doesn't mean the government's actually going to shut down.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean
that's
you ain't
an
going to get your Social
excuse.
Security checks.
Yeah.
They always use that fear mongering to get more money.
Just
to-
like
to
that
get
lady
more money
said,
to
their
spend.
checks
All
don't
they do.
stop. Yeah.
The only people that don't get
checks
the
don't
only
stop.
people that don't get paid are the government people that are getting government checks.
Yeah.
Right. That's the American people still get your life goes on as normal and all that.
Yeah.
Still, they're worried, and that's where it goes back to them. All they're worried about is their damn self. They ain't
Yeah.
worried about you at all. They
Yeah.
don't give two
They
shits
wanted
about
their 40K and
Biggest part
raise,
of America when they do the American shutdown and people don't get paid, the biggest portion of the people is the American military people
Yep.
don't
Yeah.
get paid. So that is the
Yeah.
biggest influence
bad.
that it has.
I think
It's a
that's
very
something,
large amount of people that it affects when they do the
they should be
government
the
shutdown.
first. They should be
So
the
if
first.
you look at it that way, they can actually sway some
that's
stuff
true.
that way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
They,
that's
I
a
mean,
good point,
those
Paul.
people stand on a wall and say nothing's going to hurt you tonight. Nothing's going to get through on my watch, but they're not going to get paid. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but
they
that was
willingly stood up to defend this country, and you're going to say, "Oh, we
never
can't give you a paycheck." You know,
that was never going to happen. They were going to get paid.
no, they would have worked something. They'd have done
They
something.
use it. They use it
always
as a
happens.
tool.
Every year, don't it? Or every
Yeah,
3
it's the
months,
same
the government shuts
It's just-
down.
It's the same shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
every time.
And that's what they said. Who's going to show up and collect the 30-something trillion dollars? Is someone going to show up at the door? You know, someone pulling up saying, "Hey, I want my 30 trillion." That's what they said. Like, really? Are we really in debt? Because who's collecting it? Or they pulled up and said, "Hey, I want my money." You know, is it mean? There's all kinds of rabbit holes you can go down that way. You know.
You think about
Yeah.
that when they shut down, they're not paying the government. They're not paying they're not paying the people that are protecting themselves when they do this. Okay. So they're not paying the people that are protecting them, but they're also not paying the people that are defending their country.
Yeah.
So it's a slippery slope when they do it. And that's why it never normally lasts very long. It's just kind of it's an attention thing.
And
They
they
kinda-
also get that back. They do get that back pay back, even if the government does shut
Yeah.
down for a period of time. They get their back pay, but yet you don't want the military or anybody to be lose money. I don't want that. But I mean, it's just they use it as a tactic, is what they do. It's always something, It's always doom and gloom. Everything's doom and gloom when it comes to them, man.
Politicians are a good description of narcissist.
Oh, they are. You have to be a narcissist to be a politician.
Exactly.
There's no way you
Yep.
can. You have to be. You have to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And-
Hey guys,
and
check the
President
private
Trump,
chat.
and President Trump is one of the biggest narcissists you'll see. He is a
Oh
narcissist.
yeah, Lord, yeah, he is.
He's a
Most
narcissist.
people are in that position, and I'm going to have to jump. Wife just got home. I need to.
Okay.
We can end
see
it.
to
We
a
can
few
end it here.
things.
Yeah. It's a good time to edit.
No,
We've been
y'all
on
can
for
keep on.
a
It's
good
all
couple
right.
hours.
It's,
So
it's up to you guys.
Yeah. We can end it. We can end it right here. So
Well, all right,
I
guys.
appreciate you-
So
I
I'm
appreciate
Ray's
you,
Moto
Salty.
Life. Go check out the channel.
see you guys later.
Go check out Salty's channel.
Salty
Check
Badger
out the
down
Political
below us.
Rider.
Go check out
Yeah.
his channel, Political Rider. This is what we're trying to
Retired
build.
Rider.
The Political Rider is also the Retired Rider on YouTube.
Yeah.
So make sure you go give him a subscribe and a like on this video, please. Guys in the side chat, thank you for showing up. Always
I appreciate everyone.
appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So until the
All right,
next time,
guys.
I'm out.
All right, we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, hit that button.
Wow.
Hit the like button on your way out the door.